Hello, classmates. This is Brian Wright, and my first attempt at a Pachachka presentation. So I'm going to give you guys the my personal bio here in the first half of the presentation, and I'll give you the ins and outs about using Keynote in the second half of the presentation. Slide number 2, pretty easy pick for me. This is a picture of my family, myself, my wife Lori. Be married 20 years this year. In November, my son Blake and my daughter Paige. Picture's a couple of years old, so I'll give you some up-to-date photos here later on. I grew up in Deschler, Ohio. This is a picture of Main Street here. If you've ever seen the movie Hoosiers, that's the best way to describe Deschler, Ohio. It's a town of about 2,000 people. Everybody knows everybody. And, interesting note, it is the only crossroads of the B&O Railroad. Here's an up-to-date picture. This was taken this summer here. My son is on the left-hand side there. This was taken at Orlando, Florida, at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex, where the Westerville North Warriors wrestled in the Disney Duels. He ended up going undefeated and bringing home gold. Earlier this summer, my daughter was married, and this is a picture of me walking her down the aisle. It was an outdoor wedding. We had beautiful weather, so that was nice, and it was a big day for both of us, and it all turned out great. Career-wise, I currently work at AirNet 2. I fly Lear 35s based out of Rickenbacker Airport in Columbus, Ohio. We do on-demand freight throughout North America to include Canada, the US, and Mexico. Prior to that, I worked as the Assistant Director of Standards for Flight Safety International. This is a picture of me working on the Challenger 350 sim build with the engineers in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And it was the first Challenger 350 sim for flight safety. This is our brand new facility across from the NetJets building in Columbus at the John Glenn International Airport. Taken about a year ago. Sim Bay looks kind of empty here, but it's full of sims now, and we're just one of many airframes that flight safety trains pilots in. Ultimate goal for my career here, I'd like to fly with these folks, and this class I just want to learn more about the legalities behind aviation. I have yet to explore that side of the industry, so looking forward to learning more about aviation law. Continuing on in my personal life here, my hobbies and interests. This is myself and my wife, Lori, here at the Hoover Reservoir in Westerville, Ohio, where we live. And they have a really neat frisbee golf course there, so we frequent that quite often when the weather's nice during the summer. Ohio is a pretty good state if you're a bicyclist. As you can see, we have a bicycle trail that leads all the way from Cincinnati through Columbus up to Cleveland, and it's getting close to being done, so we're hoping to bike part of that trail. Picture taken in 2011 of my wife and me on a dive in Cozumel, Mexico. This is towards the end of our descent down. We're about 80 feet here, and if you're a diver, I highly recommend visiting Cozumel. I also, in my free time, like to shoot, and this is the results of my conceal and carry class. I was using a Sky 9mm pistol to qualify for a conceal and carry license in the state of Ohio. A lot of fun and well worth the money. I've also lived in Savannah, Georgia for about a year. I worked at flight safety there as well, teaching in the Gulfstream products, and this is what I like to do on my free time when I was down there. You can see on the left a squid in the bucket there that's inked, and a blue crab on the right-hand side on the dock. So I'm an Apple guy, and I used Keynote to make this presentation. It's really simple to do. It's kind of fun. So I'm going to give you guys the ins and outs about how to do it using Apple Keynote. So one of the products that you have that came with your either your iMac or your MacBook, whichever you use, is the Grab application in the lower left hand corner. That's what you use to build your presentation. You can take screenshots, window shots, and crop pictures or selections. So I use that to put my slides together, as you can see here. About halfway through my building of my presentation there. The right hand side is where you change your presentation type to self-playing, set up a 20-second delay, and I used widescreen format. Then once you get your presentation built, you can go into recording the audio for it, again on the right hand side. Pretty easy stuff here. You just click the record button and it brings up a new window where you can, with your microphone, just do what I'm doing now and just record your voice over as the presentation plays through. So as I'm doing the presentation, this is what I'm looking at. The current slide, the next slide, and then up top, it has a timer so you can get your 20 seconds per slide down precisely. Down below is your presenter notes, which I don't have, but I'm sure I'll use in the future. Once you're done with the build, then you go into YouTube. You're going to have to save your build and export it into a QuickTime file. Once you do that, you go into YouTube, upload it, and voila, post the link. So guys, give me your feedback. Let me know what you think, and thanks for watching.